guys, this is Nikki Yu, also known as Faces Trader, and you are watching the Awesome 10X show this July 9, 2020. It's already Thursday. Here are your Philippine market updates. So today the index is trading at 6,192. It's down 1.48%. As you could see, the Philippines isn't really following the global market rally. The Philippines is not as strong as the world. It's very obvious, especially if you are watching our global market updates and our global Friday classes. So you can clearly see that the Philippines is not getting the love. Market value is very pathetic at 4.65 billion pesos. That's half of your total value traded before, which was about 7 to 8 billion. And you've got continuously foreign net selling for about 649 million pesos. So down the drain we go. The Philippine index is down. All shares are down. Financials are down. Industrial holdings, properties are down. With very few gainers, JG Summit 2% up. Ayala Corp 2% up. PLDT 1% up. Pure Gold 0.6% up, BDO 0.5% up. It's usually just unchanged mostly, and you have a ton of losers. In your loser space, you've got Jollibee down 4.5%, SM Prime down 4%. Let's take a look at why the Philippine market continues to languish while the entire US and Chinese market is actually on fire. For your statistics, you could see that your top gainers are very few. When it comes to value traded, this is one of the highest, which is GMA 7. You've got 2,900 people trading GMA 7 for a 4% rally, with of course the low probability that the franchise renewal for ABS-CBN is happening anytime soon. So there's also positive move for Nickel Asia, 3% up from 210 to 217. And then you have this one, PXP is up 10%, 1,000 people are trading 7.1. But the Philippine market, I would say, from a most active space is clearly in the red. As you could see, in the most active space, very huge reds. You've got a lot of red, meaning the Philippine market is not getting a lot of love. With SM Index going down 3%, PLDT at least 1360, nearing your 1400. And just to tell everyone, PLDT is near your 52-week new high. It is a 52-week new high. Your Ayala land is languishing at about 32.95, down 2.8%. BDO is unchanged at 96. SM Prime is down 4% at about 30 peso 50 cents. Pure Gold is strong at 46.9, trying to break above that 47 and 48 era. And so definitely you don't see a lot of movers in the Philippine market. Let's take a look on your reports. No, so recently, we are seeing that the COVID-19 is prompting Cebu Pacific to lay off more jobs. So June 24, Cebu Pacific has been laying employees. As COVID-19 continues to hurt the aviation, Cebu Pacific had no choice, but they're trimming their workforce by 25%. Which companies have been trimming their workforce? Yes, we've seen BPI do that. Now Cebu Pacific is doing that. We will actually might see potential another cut of workforce in either your other airline, which is Philippine Airlines. So Cebu Pacific, the country's largest budget airline, reduces the workforce by 25% as coronavirus is dramatically reshaping the business of aviation. So over 800 employees have been laid off this year by August, on top of some 200 tenured workers. So and they are agreed to retire. So so far, Cebu Pacific had 4,000 employees. So they've already cut 1,000 employees. It's a very difficult but necessary decision for Cebu Pacific in order to fulfill their long-term commitment to provide affordable and accessible air transport services to the public. So it's very clear that after this process, Cebu Pacific is too big for the operational requirements and expected new norms in the industry. So what this means is that Cebu Pacific, with 1,000 employees, let's assume that each employee is at least 500,000 pesos. So Cebu Pacific would save about 500 million pesos in a year, and it's a necessary thing. As hard as this may sound, any budget carrier without any flights would have a difficult time. So within the next 1 to 2 years, Cebu Pacific will continue to trade in a range. Nevertheless, if you ask me about the replacement value of Cebu Pacific, it's at least 60 to 80 pesos. And now at 30 to 40 pesos, you can buy it. You do get an upside of about 50% if you can have that ability to trade the range, and you know how to trade the range. So definitely, Cebu Pacific is a low-cost carrier in the Philippines, launched by the Gokongwei family in 1996 with a fleet of 76 aircraft, sending over 100 local and international routes before the pandemic. So whenever you think about Cebu Pacific, you don't actually see Cebu Pacific going bunker. So it's not going to go bankrupt. So there is really a lot of people who are reliant on the tourism industry to flourish. And it is very unlikely that Cebu Pacific will not be able to stay afloat despite these hard times. So today, actually, Cebu Pacific even traded to the upside despite that cut jobs, because actually the market is forward looking that the savings will actually enable Cebu Pacific to have a better cost-efficient business going forward. So until the demand comes back, which maybe could take 2021 or 2022, it's very likely that Cebu Pacific at this lower workforce is going to be leaner and meaner for the time being. Now, this is a news that we have to share, CLI. So CLI has been seeing brisk demand. Cebu Landmasters had a news update that they have seen reservations rise. So as of June 25, it says here that Cebu Landmasters reservations rise on sustained home. So basically, your OFWs continues to have a good brisk demand. I'd say that, of course, people are probably thinking, well, aren't the properties going to have a hard time? Take note that Cebu Landmasters, particularly Cebu, Visayas, are not as expensive as Manila. So in terms of like OFW affordability, Cebu Landmasters has been giving them options as low as about 2 to 3 million pesos, versus in Manila, wherein your typical average selling price is already at 6 million to 10 million. So when it comes to affordability, it's less it's expected to be able to meet those demands. Let's read this. This is an old article last week, June 25. Today is already July 9, but I think they gave a lot of updates on this. So Cebu Landmasters reservations have been rising on sustained home demand. So among your property, which is a bad neighborhood, you've got some companies actually saying that, hey, we're not yet dead. Cebu Landmasters posted 20% higher sales in the first half, even as demand even just despite this COVID pandemic. So Cebu-based property developers said it sold 3.4 billion pesos worth of homes, more than 1,500 housing units. And this is raising its first half reservation sales to 6.2 billion pesos, 20% up from last year's 5.2 billion. CLI said its most prominent customers are mid-market buyers. 986 unit Casa Mira Towers in Cagayan de Oro was sold out as early as mid-June. Casa Mira Towers Mandaue and Iloilo had reported sales velocity of 81% and 50%, as Casa Mira is CLI's economic housing brand. So this mid-income brand has been 80% sold for Bohol. The socializing housing project in Cebu has also been sold out. So the pandemic is making buyers realize the necessity to live in safe and secure communities, serving as a push for families to buy their much-needed home. So as of end of May, CLI already reduced their residential units to 10%, preparing and has since been preparing to launch new projects to beef up its inventory. So this is actually a good thing. You could see that shares in CLI, since this news was 421, and even with the bad market sentiment in the Philippines, CLI is trading at 507. So it tells you that earnings-wise, you've got at least the Philippine companies. It's a good thing that there is a little bit of sanity in the market, that even if nobody loves the Philippines, the foreigners hate us, but there are a few Filipinos who see that, hey, this company is doing well, and so I'd like to buy a company doing well. You could see that CLI has been rising in activity and volume ever since that June 25. So actually, June 25 was somewhere here. Where is June 25? Here at 420. This is a clear breakout of 420. So and this rally today is a strong move that, hey, we have good earnings, and so we want to buy our company. With that volume and that rise in price, any drops of CLI, I think at 4.6 would be bought out by some players who have not been recognizing this trend when it comes to the affordable housing market. So Cebu Landmasters is getting a lot of buyers. Here you could see this is a 420 buyer. and this is also on pullbacks, you'd see buyers at 460 or 480. So I'd say that it's a good thing that CLI is able to manage to turn around their business. Actually, not turn around their business. Their business has been doing well, and so the stock price merely followed the fundamentals. So that's a good thing to see. Cebu Pacific, as you could see from the charts, we are seeing that continues to languish. But at the end of the day, it is trading above this 40 peso level, 39 pesos. So there's not a lot of buyers. You could see the volume is really low. Philippine index has very low volume. But so we aren't really following the USA. No, that's a sad thing. I'm sad that the Philippines is not following the global markets. You have global markets really rising very, very strongly. But I'm not so worried that the Philippine market would have some buyers, because why? There's cheap money globally. So the cheap money globally has translated to money to Jollibee, PLDT, ICT, even your BDOs and Metro banks got a lot of cheap funding. Now it remains to be seen whether that cheap funding that they got will actually translate to better earnings in the future. So far, PLDT, we remember, if you have been watching, we were saying that PLDT at 1180 presented a great buying area, even at 1160. Every time PLDT falls, we kept on saying that PLDT was a great buying area because this company has been earning well and stable with dividends coming this August, September. So you could see this actually now above your March and April, very, very strong. This is already trading at your 52-week new high, above 1314. Now, after this 1360 resistance, the next is 14. Maybe it can even go to 1450, guys. So let's see whether your PLDT can lead the pack. You know that I've been very bullish on PLDT, and notwithstanding, I am very bullish with Globe. So these drops of Globe at 2066, for those people who don't have any idea, what should I buy in the Philippine market? Well, maybe you could check out the connectivity names, because PLDT, Globe, and the upcoming Converge IPO would be something that the market will look forward to. Granted, Dito Telecom is supposedly our third telco, but I don't know if any of you has ever gotten a connection from Dito Telecom. But the market is bullish on telecoms in general, because broadband is an important necessity for every Filipino today, especially in this tech world. So these are the sectors that are expected to stay afloat. Now, of course, when it comes to stability, let's take a look on your Manila Water. You could see that Manila Water has broken out this 13. Any drops Manila Water will continue to be bought at 13 below. So for those who don't have any idea, what should I buy, Nikki? Okay, Manila Water is something that you should buy. You could see that Manila Water has already had a lot of higher lows. Take note that when the Duterte promise of, actually this had a strong move ever since Duterte apologized to Ayala's. Remember that? That was the start of the Ayala Corporation 100% move. So far, Manila Water from about 8, now it's about 14. Maybe it can go to 16. Take a look what happened to Ayala Corporation since then. I can't remember if it was something about March or April, when you can check in Google when did Duterte apologize. But during that apology, really, Ayala Corp has been going up. Something like here. Was it here when Duterte apologized? But when our president apologized to the water, so it went up. So far, I'd say that Ayala Corp is just finding a pause, trying to consolidate its massive gains. Take note that this is 360 to 800. That is a 100% move. Those massive gains can consolidate back to about 720 or 680, but any drops would be continued to be bought for Ayala Corporation. What's going to happen to your casino sector? Okay, so casino sector has been outperforming. Bloomberry went from about 4 to 8, had 1.3 billion pesos. As of now, we're going to still wait for Bloomberry to drop a better entry for those risk-reward ratios. You want to get in your 750 if you can. When it comes to earnings, take note that All Home did so well. So All Home, people are refurbishing their houses, refurnishing their houses since they're staying a lot at home. So at home, when you're staying at home, you have a lot of repairs to do. So take note that at 650 near 7 is a great area. So while it's going down, you have to be more bullish. When it goes up, because Philippine market is a laggard, a weak one, that's when you sell. So you scale in on the downside ladder into the position, and you scale out on the upside. That's what you call scale in, scale out, SISO, CISO. So definitely there's a lot of things happening worldwide, and we have to be vigilant. I'd say that listen to our global market class later on. And yeah, so thank you very much for listening. And this is your Philippine market update. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.